Folks, how are you today? Today's Thursday, February 29th. We are at the Capital Expenditure
This
Committee.
is groundhog.
With us this evening is Carl Steinhardt, Doug Moglen, Joseph Thede, Alita Maria, Jeffrey Turcott is absent for this evening. Mr. Fox is still here, and Mr. Kanicki no longer is on this board. All right, first up is the fire department. He cannot make it this evening, so we will reschedule a time with him. And then next up is the building, tax treasurer, collector, assessor, office restructure program. Mr. Steiner, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful,
Mr. Chairman.
wonderful. So I know
We are-
you had reached out to me and I had gotten a quote roughly together. Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me. But it was from
It was
local
a
builder.
follow-up from the walkthroughs we
Yes.
did with representatives from the finance committee, the assessors. the
Correct.
Facilities manager and the
Right.
clerk of the works. And Mr. Lawler had helped develop what the specs would be,
Yes,
and we are just trying to achieve budgetary estimates
correct.
that would also include an accommodation for prevailing wages.
Yep.
Which is a
That was in there
necessary
for sure.
function in
Yep.
the Massachusetts buildings that are gonna be improved.
Yes, sir.
So that information needs to come in.
Yep.
And we can evaluate that against any other possible
The
options. the board
placement
has.
number, if you want to write it down, was anywhere from 50 to 70,000. Depending on your electrical, your fire, your IT, and a few other.
Right, cause
Notes.
it's right, it's more than just a wall, it's
It
light
unfortunately is
fixtures,
more
there's
than
voice
just a
and
wall.
data, there's duct work,
The ductwork.
just like any other building
Yes,
that gets built out in commercial space.
Right.
So that has to be acknowledged, and
It
then of
does.
course, how that fits within the budget planning document. The group also has, there was $7,000 that was already approved.
Yep. for
By
design
the
work.
select board and the finance committee last year under the
Correct.
municipal modernization year-end transfers. So those funds do exist. And within those same grouping of funds, there was another 40,000 to do some work on the old fire association building.
Correct.
So if people thought that could wait and that doesn't have any consensus yet on its use, then those funds could also be voted and reprogrammed by the same two boards to go toward this issue, and it would more than significantly close the gap.
Yeah.
Where there would be a smaller balance left.
Correct.
So that is something else to take into consideration.
Okay.
So that's what has to be, looked at from that perspective.
Thank you. I don't, so we're gonna
We-
go,
we
we
can-
should go with cemetery next?
Yeah, I know the last time we met, this board had asked her to go and research
Ma'am, we're ready for you?
additional information about tractors and the attachments.
Yes.
So I believe she went and did some of her research.
Correct.
Oh, yes, the cemetery.
Hello, how are you this
Hearing
evening?
before us. We are honored this evening. Because she will get us in the end.
Could you
Okay,
please state your name for the record?
Lisa Anderson. Town Sexton.
Thank you.
So Randy helped me find what we really need. There's two options. One has wheels,
Mhm.
and one's on tracks. The
Yep.
one on tracks is cheaper. It's smaller but cheaper, but it would make a mess because of the tracks. It's gonna ruin the, like.
Same predicament you're in now.
Exactly. So this, I really wanna find one with wheels. You can't really find a mini with wheels. They all have options, different options, different attachments you could buy later on if you wanted it to do other things, which is kind of cool to have that option. And those attachments would all just come out of my regular line item budget anyways. But so Randy said this one is what he looked at 4 years ago and it was at 60.
Mhm.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's
So,
325.
yeah.
No,
It's
it's
gotta
probably
be-
not. It's gotta be close to like
75.
70. Yeah, I'm sure it's.
I think it's more. Well, yeah, 4 years
I'd
ago.
take the
Well,
old
it's a mini.
75,000.
It's still a mini, probably more like 70,
I
yeah.
think you're at 75,000.
Right.
So there's a few different things that were tossed around
Yeah.
today. We had money set aside for roads to pave the new roads around the new addition.
Yeah.
So that was, I think,
20.
I think we have 20 for that. We also have an account, that makes interest. So we have one big account with money, we can't touch it. And And then the interest off of that every year goes into another account for the cemetery, and I believe we have almost 20 in that, so we.
Perpetual care.
It's a trust.
Right, and if we needed something major to be done or something, we could go into the one with the interest only.
Right, which
so
is
that's-
expendable.
right.
It's the authorized portion of it that's expendable.
Right. So there's, I mean, Randy said for the cemetery, like this would last us forever. This would, I mean,
Oh, no
we're
problem.
only using it to dig ground. We're not using it on the road. We're not doing all these culverts and all that stuff like he does. So the wear and tear on it would last us forever. But someone today just said, well, what, have you thought about leasing it? Leasing one, because then you could make your payment out of that interest one every year. And then in 5 years, it would be paid off or
borrow-
whatever.
it's the same with the
Right,
borrowing authorization.
right,
You could do a short-term state house note for it for 5 years. And then you could make the payments to the state house note out of that. And that's the same thing as doing a lease,
right.
so.
So, right, so it's kind of like, there's
It's one
other
way or another, right.
options to get it.
The key thing there with that, when you, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you too long ago about it, just to see what entities that are out there that we could get bids through a bid co-op or a state bid or a
Right.
GSA bid, just so that we can get a better idea on what we think the number is gonna look like.
Right,
Because from this committee's point of view, the number may end up adjusting. The question is this something based upon this department having come before this board last year, as well as Mr. Sutton? And then there was a decision about what amount of money was gonna be supported, what was acquired, and what's in the other department. And this goes back to your conversation from last week, where that other machine, wouldn't be able to do, from a specification point of view, wouldn't be able to do what the one at the cemetery does, the one we have here on these premises.
right,
It does not have those capabilities.
right. And the other thing was our price is down low. Everywhere else around us in cemeteries to dig, they're charging like $1,800. We're at $550. Even if we raised and we've been thinking about this, even if we raised our price up a couple $100, we pay the guy that's digging now, we could still take that couple $100 and put it in our perpetual revolving account and use that money to help make
Payments.
these payments or something. And we do anywhere from 30 to 40 graves a year. So,
And you do year round now.
and we do year round,
Right,
yeah,
but
we
that's a
haven't stopped.
difference. That's a different thing in the last couple of years.
That's why I think we need the one with the wheels and go this way versus this, because like this year, the ground
Can I
didn't
see that
freeze,
one with the
the
fence?
ground didn't freeze at all. And everything is just a mess. So we're doing like twice as much work after he comes and digs.
Well,
And then
you're
now we
having more
gotta,
damage.
Does Randy
Yeah.
have one of these things today?
no, he sent me a picture of the one he has at the, he went and looked and he showed it to me, and, the one that he has at the transfer station is really big, and we would never be able to
Well,
maneuver
that's not
around
one
the
of those
stone.
anyway.
No, I didn't know if he had one
Yeah.
of those.
You could
He's got a
probably,
backhoe. That's what he's got down there.
Right, he's got
Front
the backhoe,
loader,
but the back side of it has this
Yeah, yeah,
attachment,
yeah.
so we could have used it if we needed it, but it's so huge,
No,
I would
agreed.
not
I
wanna
just didn't
go
know if They
around.
had something like this, because I'm a big fan of the
No.
two lawnmower theories. If he's got one that's halfway through its life,
Right,
that at the cemetery, have him
he
get the
thought,
new one.
After our
yeah,
last meeting,
That's what we
Yeah.
talked
we
about.
reached out to Randy.
yeah,
Yeah.
And, even the one at the, the transfer station, yada, 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 but
Yeah.
like, Randy, it's just too big to
Yeah.
even play and try, it'd be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So we did try that.
cause
route.
sometimes you're digging the front of a grave right here, and then literally you got
Yeah.
stones on either side of you, so you need something small that,
Can get in
You know,
between the
exactly.
pathways of the stones.
Yeah.
you might
Right.
wanna reach out to Tri-County, cause we buy a lot of equipment from them. They're right in West Springfield. And they might have a machine over there that you could take a look at. And, a lot of times they'll bring out equipment and test it. With
That's a
equipment,
demo.
and they came out
Oh,
with
they'd
a,
give you one for
The
a
whacker.
week to play with.
right.
We had the
right.
whackers, not how.
Right, the whacker, they
we had
brought
the
it out
whacker.
so we could take a look at it, and they brought out other pieces of equipment, and we chose the whacker because it fit the bill.
It could go down the sidewalks.
are they
That
new
was
or
the
they
big thing
used?
About why we.
No.
No, they're new,
They're new equipment,
but you.
not that I wouldn't buy a used one, I'm
Well,
just
that's
saying
what I
if it's
mean. They live right in town, we've
Right.
done a lot of business with them, I'm just
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
They might have a piece of equipment over there.
we could play with.
Right, they could bring it out.
He'll
see
educate
how it
you
looks.
more on what you're thinking.
Right,
Right,
He'll gladly come out and educate.
oh, yeah, they'll educate you,
110%.
right,
right,
and that doesn't mean they're getting the.
No,
the-
they
the
will do
job.
it just. to
Right,
do it.
right, right.
They'll do it.
yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's about all. You got any other questions?
So that,
Were you looking for other money for paving? Like, is there another phase? of
Well,
paving to do?
it depends. If you tell me that you don't have what this is gonna cost, I'm just saying we could take from that, but now that if we bought this, we could literally get a truckload of the millings and my person could go and put them down.
With this?
Well, it's
Yeah,
got a blade, but-
well, it has a blade, but we have the Kubota too that we still have.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get rid of that because we do stuff with it. But he could use that and put that down and it's all out in the sun and then we would
I-
roll it properly and,
I would
we-
think our DPW would help with millings, should that
Right.
become the case
Oh, yeah,
personally.
they have.
well,
the-
they
have
get
the
a
equip-
lot of them.
They
Right.
have the equipment and they have.
No,
the-
but I'm just saying, but if we had to, we could get truckloads and,
Oh, yeah.
and put it down. If we had to borrow, if we had to take that money that's already allocated for the paving
Paving.
Right.
and use it toward this, along with our other 20
Just- I
grand.
think that
To help
from-
you cut it off.
Just so you understand how, the only way you could do that is at the special before the annual, you would be making a motion to transfer fiscal year 24 funds from one capital line item to another one and retitling it tractor.
Right.
And then you'd probably use the balance out of it from free cash, because as the board does each year, when they go through the budget process, they decide when they look at capital items, which ones they want to get and in what order. So sometimes they'll move things up and say, we're gonna do this at the special before the annual, and the rest of these things will be at the annual, or they'll be authorized for bonding at the annual.
Right.
So
Because then you can get it sooner.
So
then you can get it sooner, but then it's also the issue, and we don't know how long it takes for these things, you know. A lot of equipment's been taking a long time,
Right,
but at least you would need to reprogram those dollars in the current fiscal year, you know, to change their purpose, and you'd do that.
if
at a
you knew
town
you were
meeting.
gonna go that route.
Right, you'd have to do that at a.
But from this committee is to support it or not support it
Right.
based on its merits. And you let finance, accounting and the CAO determine the source of funds,
Gotcha, okay.
right? So if,
So it's just a nay or yay
If-
for you guys.
I'm putting that out for a discussion.
Right.
This is not for us
Okay.
to say, oh, we're gonna move this to here and move this
No,
to
no,
here.
no, right.
No, it's.
I'm just explaining how it works.
$5,000.
But that's what we're trying to just,
Does capital
Yeah.
expenditures recommend
yeah,
the spending of $75,000, which bucket it comes from or how it's financed or whatever?
Right.
That's really the purview here.
right.
Right.
Goes to another committee.
Did the school wanna chip in for it, or?
No,
Okay, that was quick.
because, our discussion yesterday was how the legislature is talking about cutting rural aid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would you have to say that right here during my time?
Right. And, well, we were in negotiations, so we had to look at them and tell them, they cut rural aid, there's no raises. You know, basically.
Right.
What's the
I think
height on
sheer,
that?
that, the
Did you
commitment,
figure out the
the
height?
commitment.
No,
to
I'm still
local aid
looking.
to
It didn't, I had to go back into
Even
the,
after.
but I will. I'll
That's
figure out the
made.
height.
You just want to figure out if it can be stored inside.
So that commitment,
Yeah,
We're gonna
once
have it
it's
for 20
made,
years, you want.
that
Well,
part will happen.
We
Oh,
bought a
it'll be-
bus and we
I
had to
don't know
raise
about
the
more than
roof on
20
the
years,
garage.
but-
Secretary
Yeah.
Goby's
It might be in the garage.
type
here,
issue,
Right.
but I know the other stuff.
No,
is
but I
gonna
mean,
happen.
I know,
we fixed
I
it
know.
for the bus, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
knew about it, we planned it out,
Yeah.
it was part of the purchase.
Their building's not that high over there though.
No, but we have a
Yeah, I
back,
Googled
we have a
it.
backside
Some
of the
stuff
building
came
that
up,
I
but
could
not,
put a lean-to and, you know, build something if I had to.
Yeah.
On the back of it.
Are you?
So we need to take
just a
that into
suggestion, you could do
consideration,
something similar
Yeah,
to what
I
they
wouldn't
did
leave
at
it
the
out.
transfer station.
What's that?
If you have,
Yeah,
you know, it's basically a Quonset.
Right, right, right,
Oh,
right.
hoop, you know,
Yeah.
a hoop, yeah.
a hoop house.
Yeah.
So, but you could put that out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, right, exactly.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll figure out the
Can we
height and
store it at the
stuff.
transfer station, just drive it over there and store it.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh.
That's not a bad idea at all.
What's that?
Store it at the transfer station,
No,
That's,
drive it cross country.
no.
So I think it's a take thing to be taken. Private away.
No. It's gonna stay clean. It's gonna look just like that in 20 years. Okay.
Any other questions for us?
I would just suggest that you try to get a better figure as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll have
I
it
think
before I go to you,
I'm
on the
thinking
finance committee.
100,000.
Well, I
No way.
looked up a few and they were $180 without the wheels, with the track, not the wheels. I did that real quick.
Yeah,
I just decided to keep my mouth shut.
yeah, I mean, I don't
180.
see it happen, things have
Wow.
But
skyrocketed.
it's all good. I mean, that's just what I looked up really quick. It doesn't,
How much is that a payment monthly?
Well, it depends
Well,
on
how
how
much
much
you
you're
putting
putting
down?
down. Right,
What's
how
your
much you're
interest
putting
rate?
down.
Are you looking to finance
Are you
today?
trading
What's your
anything
credit
in?
score?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
You
buying a
could test
car?
drive it first.
Yeah. why don't we
Oh,
test
my
drive it
God.
First, yeah.
Hmm,
I mean,
You
we
want
just,
a biodiesel?
the
or you
board
buying
just
electric?
signed that 4,500,000
They got it.
short-term renewable bond
They also have a
for a
billion
number
of
of
them
months.
too.
They do, and there's a lot of used ones
so
out
is the
there,
town,
but not
does the
used.
town care if it's used? If we found one that was used for a few years?
Used
No.
equipment before.
We have, okay.
Cause you're talking 30 burials, it takes you an hour to dig it,
I'm
maybe.
gonna go see what
3
Crestview has in
hours,
his lot.
3 hours to
Start
refill
bugging
it.
him.
We, no, go there at night.
If you,
Oh, he does get robbed a couple times, yeah.
yeah, and the cameras aren't that good, so you should be fine. They'll say, yes, it's leaving,
You know.
but it didn't go
It's
far.
gonna
It
be
looks
at
like
the
it's at the
paper tomorrow,
cemetery.
right? And then
The tractor
they're gonna
tells me
be
it's
at
at the
our house.
cemetery. Maybe you could switch lots for the vehicle. Well, no one's getting younger.
Wow. Not at these meetings.
Well,
No.
if they do 30 to 40 a year at $1,000 a piece.
Well, they're
30 grand a
at
year.
550, right?
Well, she just said she's gonna go up to $1,000.
She didn't say 1,000.
No, she said a couple hundred,
Couple
but
hundred.
I don't,
I wrote.
Oh, what were your?
I didn't
the
wanna
estimated revenue?
I didn't want to sidetrack, but I didn't know when the last time we raised the costs were, because that would be a question that I would have at the budget hearing.
16,500 is what the gross is. And you got your labor you gotta take out of that.
Yeah.
There's just more involved than just digging a hole
Mm-hmm,
for all, and we all get that.
mm-hmm.
Oh, these are very sacred locations too. You need to be very
So you do,
careful
you need to have a skill set.
when you're doing this type of work.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch and how it's all done firsthand, you see how important that is.
Fortunate to move a few of those over the years.
Yes.
So you're right. It's very important. Okay. So anything for new business?
Ask Lisa if she's got the set of minutes yet. Can you ask her that?
She did send them out. They were in the email.
Yeah, send the minutes. Do you have a copy for us here?
We can vote on them.
And then I guess we're gonna have to meet again.
It looks that way. Yeah, what, if we got calendars out, what looks good? And when's the latest we can go, Carl?
I don't know, he's got a countdown calendar.
No, I know.
That's why I'm at, you know.
Anybody who's been in my office, anybody, there's nothing like that.
Well,
I'm not.
That
like
we can see.
people,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Well, if you can't look at a calendar and know it, and you gotta look at something on a wall, what does that
So
say?
29, I'm busy then.
Today's the 29th.
Yeah, I know, and I'm looking
Now,
at,
generally,
and
the
I'm looking at
report,
March 29th too, then backpedaling.
that's a
We're
Friday.
busy on that day.
You're meeting on a Friday?
No, sir, I'm just looking at March 29th and
going
backpedaling
backwards.
all my dates that are already blocked off.
Okay.
That's all. And I do
Um,
not need to be here. That's fine too.
I mean, as a general rule, under the bylaw, it's
Yes,
supposed
sir.
to be submitted by March 15th.
Okay, that's fine.
But I don't think it would be problematic to go
It is a
beyond that.
Thursday.
if
No,
we
no,
had to.
I don't wanna go beyond that.
Next Thursday.
How's next, the 7th look?
Yeah, we got meeting.
You have a meeting?
You got a meeting, you got a meeting, I got a meeting.
I got a meeting?
Yeah,
All right.
Thank you
Does
for
it have
keeping my
to?
calendar.
Yeah, I gotta put that in.
I don't have it on my calendar.
No, none of us do. So does
I
it
guess
have
it's
to be on,
Thursday
does
of
it
the
have to be on a Thursday night? No,
No,
okay. So the 6th is a Wednesday.
perfect.
Wednesday, the
I'll be
6th?
coming home from a conference, so
Okay.
if you have to meet without me,
well, the Zoom too.
Well,
But,
she's on a
I'll
flight.
be I'll be in the air.
Can't do the
that's
5th,
not gonna work.
6th, 7th. How about the following week?
Following week, how's the 12th or 14th look? No, 14th is school. We got something today. Right,
That's
March
their budget.
14th is school.
Yeah.
So the 12th?
You're doing a budget hearing on Saturday the 9th. You can do it right after that. You're all there.
No, that doesn't work for me.
After 4.5 hours in a room,
Yeah,
that's,
Oh, thank you. Here, take one back.
I'll be,
yeah, but we gotta vote, well, anyways,
here we go.
so the 12th?
Yeah.
12th,
Well-
is a Tuesday?
Tuesday the 12th?
Yeah, is there no selectmen meeting that night? You're still on Mondays then?
No, the meeting is on the eleventh.
We had one meeting on a Tuesday.
Just checking.
Oh, man.
Just checking. Seems a little loose lately, so, okay. So the 12th is good. So
And then we
12th.
would have we'd have,
You come here to be made.
so we'd have stuff back from Lisa too, and then we would have what the fire chief has got.
Right.
Mhm.
All right, that's the
And then she has
12th,
to line up all the votes.
13th. Something, the 14th is the school. and then-
You know, so
Yeah.
it's nice.
Okay,
I'm canceling my cable subscription. I'm never home to watch TV.
well, I hear there's a new one coming.
I didn't
You should
think,
check on
I
it.
didn't think the
got
cable
better rates on
subscription was for you
I don't-
anyway, Doug, it was for
That's
the
probably-
family.
You're 100%
It's
correct.
for when your daughter comes home.
Yeah, right.
What's it got to do with you?
The kids even do that anymore, I think they watch Netflix all the time.
I know, the streaming.
Okay, so that's what we got. All right, so you got the
Mr.
minutes.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes of February the 15th.
All right, is there a second?
Second,
All those in favor, Joe DDI.
Doug Mogul, yes.
Rita G. Maria, I.
Carl Stein, yes.
That's Fox, yeah.
All right,
Anything else?
I have nothing else.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn this jolly meeting.
All right, is there a second?
There is a second, or second.
All those in favor, Joe DDI.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Rita G. Maria, I.
Carl Stein, yes.
That's Fox, yeah.
All right, folks, thank you very much for your time.
All right.